Hey everybody, I'm Steph, and today I get to do Steph's Hodgepodge of Gaming because it's Friday. Happy weekend, everybody. I'm sure everybody's happy to enjoy some free time this weekend, maybe play some games. So with that, I wanted to kind of refresh on what's happening. So it's exciting for me to start this Twitch channel because I get to demonstrate more games and I get to play more games with everybody and just be interactive with the community that's out there. And so I just want to continue to do more things revolving around Twitch. I became an affiliate over 1 week time, so I feel like super special because I put a lot of work into this, and I already have a fan base who follow the blog and the Instagrams and all this stuff. So I just want to put a face to all the stuff that I do, and just kind of be out there more. So I'm glad I have all these supporters, and it makes me feel really special, and it will only make this channel better because it pushes me to do more things. And I already have a top-down camera, so I'm gonna work that into it, and I'll get better as I go, and it's very exciting. Thanks, Rainer. He subscribed Prime. Thank you. Wow, that's amazing. I don't even really know what that means because I'm just so new to this affiliate thing, but that means a lot to me, and I'll figure it all out. I appreciate that. And since Rainer's in the chat, I want to do a little shout out. On Monday, I'm going to attempt to live stream a playthrough of Mandala Stones, which we're going to play. Rainer and Jeremy Howard and I are going to play that Monday night. So I'm going to attempt to have the live stream. I played with my family over Zoom, so I know I can capture my screen, and hopefully I'll be able to capture our playthrough of Mandala Stones on Monday. So be on the lookout for that. I've got to play this game once, and it was a lot of fun, so I just definitely want to try and promote it more because I know that the announcement just went live this week. So more on that on Monday when Rainer will give us a full walkthrough, because I think maybe some rules have changed since I played, but we'll see. I'm excited. Yay! And so with Steph's Hodgepodge of Gaming, I'm just kind of give you a weekly rundown of what happened during my blogs. I always write so much of my blog, so it's hard to keep track of everything. So I'll just do a quick recap on how games go, how they went for me, and the plays that I've had online with friends and things. And then I have a stack of games that I'm excited to play, hopefully in the coming weeks, that I want to show off a little bit. So Hodgepodge of Gaming, you never know what's going to happen. It's randomness all the time, but, hopefully I'll cover all the games because that's what I like. I like to play all the games and talk about all the games. Another exciting thing that I think is happening is in the works. So I mentioned Jeremy's going to join us for the game on Monday, and so Jeremy and I have decided to start a bi-weekly podcast, and we're just talking about it right now, but it's in the works. And if you know Jeremy Howard, Jambalaya Games, he and I are fanatics when it comes to games, and so we have a lot to talk about, and we're both very excited about games. So I think this will be a very fun duo podcast that we're doing, because he'll have a different perspective than I have, because he plays a lot of solo games and I play a lot of 2-player games, and he likes different things than I do. I think it'll be a lot of fun and high energy for sure, because if you know Jeremy, he's very energetic and he has a lot to say. And so I feel like I'm kind of the same way, so I think we'll be a good mesh. And we're both awesome. Thanks, Rainer. We're so awesome. We like games. And it's only going to be about games, all the time. And we're still thinking of a name, so if you could think of a cool name for us. Right now, I think we're going with Pile on the Games with Jeremy and Steph. And so I think that's kind of fun. So that's really exciting. And hopefully we'll start airing those within a couple weeks. We're trying to do it every couple weeks, but we have a lot of games to talk about, so who knows what will happen. We're going to try and keep it to a half hour, but even our half-hour meeting yesterday was 90 minutes because we keep talking about games so much. I'm like, people will probably just want to see us talking about all these games. Because he's like, well, what about this game? What about this game? I'm like, yeah, that game, that's great. And he's like, well, this one wasn't so great. I'm like, yeah, that was, we just go back and forth, and it's really cool. It's cool. To have somebody so dedicated like I am. I mean, a lot of people are dedicated to board gaming, but he plays a lot of games, and he plays a lot of solo games, but even games that are 2 players, he has to play double-handed because he needs to feature them on his channel. And so, but he is fun working with Man vs. Meeple. So he's like, he reached out, and we're gonna play some games, and it's gonna be fun. Thank you for following the blog, Charity Board Gamer. That is awesome. I put a lot of work into that blog. It's my baby, and I like posting 3 times a week. So with the blog, I'm trying to do big reviews for Monday and Wednesday, because those are the blogs that usually get the most traction. And Friday, I kind of do like all the catch-up games with the games I've played online with friends, and just some random games off of the unplayed shelf that I've had on the unplayed shelf for years. But it just depends on what's happening. I want to try every Wednesday. I want to try and feature a game in the blog with a nice big review, and then that will be one that I live stream with Michael that night. And so far it's been working really well, where Michael and I have been playing 3 games on Wednesday nights. And so this past week we played Titanic, Troya, and Pinball, Super Skill Pinball. And so I'm actually not going to go into too much detail about Troy and Pinball, because those are going to be in next week's blog, because I didn't get to write about them this week. But those videos are up and are online if you want to see more about them. The Titanic, I'll go into more detail, because I actually did that long review today. Hey, Jeremy's here. I just mentioned our wonderful idea for a podcast. And we got a lot of compliments from Rainer saying how awesome we are. So that was exciting. But yeah, we're very, very excited to start that podcast and talk about all the games. So with that being said, I'm going to jump right into all the games I've been playing this week, starting with The Court of Miracles. Now, The Court of Miracles came out at Essen, and then Lucky Duck Games decided to pick it up and bring it over for distribution for the United States. And so I've got my fortunate chance to play it, and it's really a unique kind of like area control, like bidding mechanic type thing. You don't know what people are actually putting in locations, and you're trying to move this little like thief robber king to the middle of the streets by doing different things, but you're trying to gain majorities. And it's a race to get 6 dominant tokens on the board. So you're basically going to be controlling the streets. You're the street king, or, I'm really bad with theme and terminology. However, you're just trying to gain the most respect from all the neighborhoods, and people are trying to kick you out, and people get these upgraded discs to get different powers, and you're just trying to manage everything. So I can see this game being like totally crazy with like 5 people. I just played 2-player, so there's a little bit more control with 2-player, but even still, you don't really know what's going to happen, because every district has its own power. And so Michael might have kicked me out of a region and put me some other region. So now I'm like trying to focus over on that region. And you're trying to just gain these majority tokens and gain money. I was feeling very good in my game. Like, I was like, I have 3 majority, and Michael had 0. So I'm like, yes, I got this game in the bag. No problem, no problem. Yeah, no, I shouldn't have been so confident in my in my standing, because he was just brutal and kicked me out, and then managed to have all this money and just go boom, 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 boom. And then it was like 5-3, and I'm like, how did this happen? And so it was a little dramatic ending there, where I ended up losing. So it was, oh yeah, renowned. That's the word. You want to be the most renowned at the end. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, so there's these like cards in the game that really kind of screw you up. So if you get a card, you can play it one on your turn, and it might be like, hey, take another turn, or you get $3 and everybody else gets $1, or all these different like events that kind of happen. And so those cards can really help push you in a direction and get you those majorities that you need. So Yeah, it's a really nice little game, a mean little game, but it's nice because it's quick, because it plays in like 30, 40 minutes. And yeah, it's if this seems like, if you like the area control, the hidden information kind of mechanic, and the race to gains like your renown points, then I think you'll probably like this one. It definitely surprised me. I'm usually not a huge fan of like the race mechanic where you're trying to get these things down, but it didn't hurt in this case because the game was so quick. So I didn't have that like sense of defeat. I mean, I was defeated, but I didn't have that like dread at the end of a game. So that was good. What else did I play? I played a game called Darwinning. So this game immediately reminds me of Evolution. And so Evolution, you're trying to build up your species. So, but with Darwinning, you are building up a species like you would in like Evolution or whatever. And however, it's a trick-taking type of game where everybody's playing and you have to play higher than the previous person. Whoever wins the trick will get to claim a card from their cards that they put down and make their species a little bit better. So you might get a terrain that you adapt to, or you might get a cool trait that you can use going forward. And it's a really interesting. It's really difficult to do well, and it plays up to 6 players, and I have no idea how it can play 6 players because I barely got enough traits and evolution points and all these different things to survive as much as I did. So I can't imagine losing more than like gaining fewer of these things in a 6-player game. I was just playing a 2-player game, and there's like a special variant for 2 players where there's like a dummy hand, but it's not really a hand that plays against us, but we can use those cards. And so it was like, I don't know. I'm really curious to see how it plays with more people. It might just be brutal. I mean, because if you are a bigger species, you can start eating other people. Now, there's some mechanics where you might lose points because of it. However, you might gain traits that help you not lose points, or the other smaller animals might have poison traits or hard shells or things to overcome. But, usually if you're the bigger species, you can just like chomp on other people. And so, it's definitely interesting and different. And I love the art, and I love that you're building up the species, and it seems like easy to gain points because like some of the traits have 3 points, so you're like, well, that makes sense just to play it as a trait just for 3 points. But you're kind of weighing your options. Can I get more climates? Can I get more species? And so you get different points from different things that you're doing, and you always want to gain your status on the food chain so that you won't get eaten as well. So it's a nice little, but you need to win the hands in order to upgrade your status. So I can see how it'd be very difficult with 4 to 6 players. 2 players was hard enough, so it's fun to try. I'll play. I definitely want to play it again. So for sure. So last week when I was doing Stephs Hodgepodge, I talked all about Harry Potter and Hogwarts Battle expansion, charms and potions. How I love that. I can't wait to play that more. But this week I got to try out the new Harry Potter House Cup competition. And this is a new game from the Ops. And so it's pretty basic. So I'm a big Harry Potter fan. So it's going to stay in my collection because I love the Harry Potter. And whoever I'm playing with, if they love Harry Potter, I will suggest it. If they're new to gaming, it'll be great. It's like a great first worker placement kind of entry level, collect these resources, boost up your wizards, put on these, spell charm things. And so you're trying to like collect these resources to do the challenges. And that's pretty cool. So, I mean, all of it is pretty standard. There's nothing overly exciting or unique about this game. However, it does what it does well. And I really like the like almost the gimmick where you're collecting these gems. They're each worth 10 points. Instead of doing a tracker around the board, you're collecting these gems, putting it in the little like vial. And so you see your score rising and rising. And so you see other people's score rising and rising. And you really don't know what's going to happen until you do the final tally at the end of the game for all the extra little points you get. And then you see what happens. And you're like, oh, I think they're winning by just a few points. But you don't know until you actually count it out. So that's kind of cute. And I love the little gems. So that's, but again, I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd and I love this theme. So, what house am I? I think I am. See, I'm pretty well rounded. I think it always comes out like 1% higher with Gryffindor, and then it's like Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw are like tied, and then like Slytherin is at the bottom. But it depends on which quiz you tell me to take, and I'll take it. I'm curious because it is always like 33, like almost all around, or like whatever, 25%. It's all pretty even except for Slytherin, which is usually lower. Hello, everybody. Hello. So I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I always play as Gryffindor because obviously all my favorite characters are Gryffindor. I would play as Sirius. But oh my god, you don't even know when he, I don't want to give spoilers for Harry Potter, but when he died, I threw the book across. I was so mad. So mad. Oh my god, it was a dramatic scene. I probably yelled. I couldn't pick up the book. I was like, I had to read it like 5 times after I threw it across the room. I'm like, that didn't happen. Because Sirius was my favorite character. And so, yeah. But, I grew to love everybody, but Sirius was always like my favorite. I was totally upset when Snape died. After learning everything about Snape, I was just like, no. Oh my god. I need to read these books again. It's been years and years and years, but just talking about it makes me super happy. I have Harry Potter codenames on the unplayed shelf for a very long time at this point, but I just haven't played it because I don't really have a whole lot of friends that are deep into Harry Potter knowledge and know different things, and it's been a long time for me too, so maybe I should reread the books and then just bring out all the Harry Potters and just have a Harry Potter gaming marathon, which would be amazing. So moving right along, I got to play Escape Tales, not the Awakening. I was gonna say the Awakening. I played that a long time ago. Escape Tales Low Memory. Now, we've been slowly going through this because we don't want to waste it. So, there's like 3 separate sections in this Escape Tales game. So, we played section number 2. And, oh boy, this game is a ride. It's like, what is happening? We keep learning these different pieces about what's kind of going on, but everything is pretty dark. The puzzles have been pretty good. I did like the second part more than the first part because of some of the puzzles that were a little bit more interesting to me. So, again, it's been a fun, escape the room type game. I always enjoy these types of games. So, if you enjoy those, then I would definitely recommend Escape Tales. First The Awakening, then Low Memory. There's another one that was just announced. Maybe if Rainer's still here, he'll tell me what the title is because I don't remember. But there's like a creepy green hand. I'm like, oh, it might be too scary for me, but we'll see. But yeah, that's fun. And Michael and I will finish out that Low Memory game coming up soon. Probably won't do it on a live stream because I don't want to give spoilers or anything. So lots of cool puzzles. I actually felt pretty smart in that one because I figured some things out. And I beat Michael to one of the puzzles, which was even better. So, what else did I play? I played Merchants of Dunhuang. Hopefully I said that better. I know I said it poorly in the live stream. I did a live stream of this game. I also wrote about it. Because it's spelled Dunhuang. so I said Dunhuang, but I think somebody said it's supposed to be like more like Dunhuang. So I'm not fluent, so I don't know, but it's a really cool set collection game. I really enjoyed it. It played really well on the live stream as well. I've played it a couple times now. So you're moving this camel around, collecting these different cards. When you collect a card, they can go into a set in front of you or into your hand. In a 2-player game, you're going to need to have majorities in 5 colors and 4 different cards in your hand in order to automatically win the game. Now, if the deck runs out in the middle of in the pile, then the game will end anyway, and then we add up points. Now, the thing about that is you can be collecting different gems for points. There's going to be points for the majorities you have and for the cards you have in hand. So there's a trade-off. You want to be focusing on getting these majorities, but you also kind of want points in case it comes to that. And it almost always comes to that. In the 2 games I've played, we have ended it the automatic way. So the first game I played, I won with 1 card in the deck. So it would have been like 1 more turn, and then it would have been over. And then the other day on the live stream, Michael was able to end it. We had only a few cards left in the deck. So it goes really quick. It plays out really nice. The quality of the game is wonderful. And so all of the people that you're moving this camel around, they all have different benefits and different actions that you can take, or you can just take money to move your camel further than 1 space. So you want the money so you can get to the action that you want. So it's like you're trying to manage everything, and it goes really, really fast. I think it's like a 20-minute game. So I definitely really love that. Mandu Games, and so that was a lot of fun. This is called The Merchants of Dunhuang. Dunhuang. Merchants of Dunhuang. There, I typed it. And so, so that's a really cool game, and I look forward to playing that one more. I look forward to playing it with more people to see if it just like speeds the game up like crazy, where it's like impossible to do anything, which it might. So it might be best at a 2-player account is what I'm actually anticipating, but we'll see. Ooh, another one that was a big hit this week was Tiny Epic Galaxy Blast Off. It was announced last week, and I got to play this game like a month ago because they sent it to me to review, and I had forgotten a little bit about it. But then I was given the go-ahead to start talking about it. So I immediately put it up on the live stream when Michael and I played it on Sunday, I think it was. And it was a bunch of fun. It's been a long time since I played Tiny Epic Galaxy, so I can't really tell you the differences between the 2 at this point because they both feel very similar to me. Now, I remember my original play of Tiny Epic Galaxies was really long, so I'm guessing they took some of the mechanics of that game, just like chopped them down, or they maybe made the point scaling different so it ramps up a little bit faster. I'm not quite sure what they did, but they did seem to mainstream it a little bit, and they changed the art. You're still sending ships out to try and colonize them for points, and you're still trying to boost your tech track to gain more dice and more ships and all these different things. So it feels very similar to Tiny Epic Galaxies. So I don't know if you would want to own both of them because they feel similar, but I'm not sure. I'm curious to know what fans of Tiny Epic Galaxies will say about it. But I certainly like this. There's nothing wrong with it. And, I'm happy to play this one again. I do think it's one of the better Tiny Epic games that I've played. I happen to love the zombie ones probably the most at this point. I'm excited to play the dinosaur one, which looks amazingly cute. So hopefully that I get to play that soon. They do a great job with the Tiny Epic games. They put a lot into a little box, and that's very exciting. And that's actually one of the videos that I posted that has like a ton of views. So a lot of people are very interested to know how the Blast Off game works. So, you can check out the video. We played a full game in like, I don't know, 30 minutes or less. We explained it and we got to it and started rolling dice. And we went full force with, blast off. And it was good. It was good. So the main feature for Wednesday was Titanic, the game. And it was our second play during the live stream. Our first play, I did pretty well as Rose. And the second play, I did much better as Rose. But the difference was Michael, he was with Jack, and then on the live stream, he was Cal. And Cal has like a weird sort of... He wants to throw people overboard for points, so instead of bringing them to the ship, he throws them off and has them land on an iceberg for points. And that's a little weird mechanic that it didn't quite feel right, but and his end game hidden goal was, it didn't gain him many points at all either. So he was kind of far back, but in any case, I think it just depends on what kind of goals you have and what you're doing in the game. But as Rose, I really like playing her because her ability gets me cards. So extra cards are always good. They gain you like cool actions. They give you cool powers. So like I was gaining like 2 points every time I would deliver to a lifeboat that was lowest on the ship. So basically you're trying to run around the ship and pick up passengers, deliver them to lifeboats, gain points as you work your way up the ship, the sinking ship. So you're going to be revealing flood cards, and the floors will be flooding, and you want to try and avoid to be on a flooded row. So you're just trying to manage it. And so I don't usually like pick up and deliver games. However, this one worked really well. And it's because you have the stress of like the boat is sinking and you're trying to do all these different things with the cards that you're getting and all these actions that are happening. And so you're just trying to do all these things. So the pick up and deliver is like the main mechanic, but it doesn't really feel like it because you're just trying to do everything at the same time while watching the water rise. And your chances of doing more actions decreases because you only have so many turns. I got an emote thanks to an anonymous cheer gift. Wow, thank you. That's amazing. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited. I gotta learn what all these emotes are because I'm trying to get my own emotes for the stream, and I'll work on that this weekend and get some cool little rainbows and running meeples and all these different things going. So that'll be exciting. Learning as I go sort of thing. I'm learning like OBS. I'm learning about all these cameras, about the microphones, about everything, and putting it all together, and about Twitch itself. So it's been a learning kind of couple weeks for me, but it's been like so much fun. So, there we go. Thanks for that. That's wonderful. Love it. So let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I played a solo game last weekend of The Magnificent. This game I simply love. I think I love it more than most people. Actually, Jeremy and I were talking about this the other day, that he really loves it as well. And it's available in the United States now, so everybody needs to go out and buy it, sort of thing. And it's a wonderful solo game. I just want to keep playing and playing until I hit that 200 point mark, which I can never seem to do. My play of it the other day was pretty bad, but it was 158, I think. It was not like a good showing at all. But this game continues to be really highly ranked for me. I play it and love it, and I play it and I love it, and I don't get tired of it. So there's just so much awesomeness with that. I played this solo game with myself because that's what a solo game is. Rainer. I feel like Rainer should know what a solo game is because all of his game plays solo. I'm sure you've played tons of games that are solo games, Rainer. More than most people. The name of the game that I'm talking about is The Magnificent. It's magnificent. I think the name holds up to the actual gameplay. You're drafting dice, you're placing these polyomino tiles to make cool patterns and complete these orders that are really performances. So you're doing all these things. I mean, the game is fairly simple, but you only have 12 turns. And so you really need to do everything right now. And then you have to like upkeep and pay for the dice that you've used. The higher your value dice, the better your actions will be, but the more you'll have to pay at the end of the round. So it's about managing all these different things, and it's really great. I love it. Love it. I see, a solo game is just one person for me. If a 4-player game is 4 different people for me. Unless there's one exception to this rule, where I used to play hundreds and hundreds of games of 7 Wonders. And it was 4 players, but we each controlled 2 boards. And then we had whoever had the higher board, or whoever had the lower board, or whoever had the median of both games would win. And so I would play 4-player, 2-player, 7 Wonders a whole lot. And so that's how 7 Wonders became so highly loved and is still number 5 in my collection. Like number 5 ranked overall for my all-time games, which, you know, is pretty good. So almost done, sort of. I played a lot of games this week. I don't know how I managed to play so many games, but I still play a ton of games. Oh, so we have Legends DM that says, I play Aeon's End solo, but 2 characters. That's interesting. I just play 1 character. I don't know if I could control 2 characters. I don't have that kind of like ability just to maintain the knowledge of what's happening in both decks and figure out what I need to do and what I have to hope for. I would be very bad at something like that. But I do love Aeon's End, so it makes me happy to hear that you enjoy that. And Aeon's End Legacy is really what brought me into the world of Aeon's End, so I am in love with that game. I haven't played Hostage Negotiator. I actually don't play a whole lot of solo games. I play The Magnificent. I think I've played The Magnificent maybe 4 times solo, which is a fair number of times because I don't really play a whole lot of solo games. So that's saying something. I play Feast for Odin. I set that up sometimes, but it's rare. And I should play Arl more because I love Arl like with all my heart. So those are games I wish I played a little bit more. So maybe I should do more solo. Maybe Jeremy will convince me to start doing more solo games. We'll see. Another huge game that was a big hit when I streamed it with Michael on Sunday is called Far Away. So in Far Away, it's a cooperative 2-player only game where astronauts are dumped on this unknown planet, and basically the terrains around them will have wildlife and resources and all these different things happening, and you're trying to complete your missions. There's like several different scenarios that you can play, and we live streamed the first mission after just playing the tutorial because we're like, wow, that's really cool, let's play mission 1. Michael's like, let's set up the live stream. I'm like, okay, cool. And so Aldi was cool enough, and he stopped by, and he set the stream up for viewing on BGG. So I had a bunch of followers through that, which was awesome, and it was a really cool experience to have so many people watching and enjoying this game with us. We were doing that game. We were playing that game for like 3 hours, and we got basically nowhere because everything we were rolling and exploring turned out to be like horrible monsters, and we had to deal with all these different things happening. And the monster phase was like really, really rough because they were big monsters, and they would go out and attack other monsters or creatures, I guess you call them. And we were just looking for resources to complete our goals, and it was just it was rather humorous to just see us struggle so poorly. But eventually it came down to Michael got ambushed by an animal, and he got an injury card, and which caused him to it caused him to lose one of his spots to hold a hunger pain. So he ended up dying because he was too hungry. And we're like, no. And he had food on his player mat, which what kills me is that he should have eaten on his turn because he could have cured all of that. Oh my goodness, we could have kept going. Not that I think we would have lasted much longer because we had a lot to do and very few chances to do it. So, you never know what dice are going to bring because you explore a tile, you roll a die to see what comes out. It could be a resource cube, it could be a terrible monster. You don't know. And that's why it's like, it's a crazy game and really difficult, which is good for co-ops because you don't want it to be too easy and you don't want it to be too hard. We did enjoy the rule books. That's saying a lot because we have come across so many horrible rule books. And so it's almost like a relief when we find a rule book that's funny and engaging and just enjoyable to read. So Far Away definitely was a nice surprise and one we definitely want to play again. Maybe we'll try live streaming this mission one again and see if we can come up with a different ending, but we'll see. Finally, a game Michael and I played was a little card game from Hook Games called Rival Kings, which is, I would have thought more of a dueling type game, but you're actually simultaneously picking cards to play and then revealing them. And if they're kind of similar strength, you're going to lose out on different actions. But you're just trying to gain these different actions to gain people cards and building cards, and you'll get a lot of points if they match up and all these different. It's very easy, very like end of night filler type game. So, it was fairly enjoyable, a lot more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think those were all of the real games that I played. But I got to play a whole bunch of online games as well. And so I like to talk about those as well because I've been enjoying games with my friends. We do the FaceTime kind of thing and we play games. So they're all live playthroughs and I count them just like any other game because I wouldn't otherwise have played them, right? So we played Pulsar. I brought that out. I taught them all how to play. It's been a while since I played, but the rules come back to you. If you they come back to me fairly easily. I was like, oh, yeah. So Pulsar's a really cool game. And, Shrey hadn't played it and he needed to because we're a big fan of Suchi. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but the designer. And, Underwater Cities, there was a new game just announced, which I'm excited for. Can't remember the name of it at the moment, but, it's out there. I know it's out there. I want to play it, of course. But this is dice drafting where you're trying to, like, do different tech things and get your movement of ships and claim statuses on the different planets and do all these different things. Tons of different strategies you can do in Pulsar, so definitely was exciting to play that. We got to play 5-player Roll for the Galaxy. It's really well implemented on Board Game Arena, and it plays out really quickly. And this was pretty funny because Derek's like, yeah, I've played it. No. And so halfway through the game, he's like, yeah, I don't think I played it. And we're like, what? And so what's even funnier is that Derek ended up beating Dan. So Dan just had a miserable game and Derek just like lucked into doing really good things and shipping off goods for points. He figured it out, it's all good. Derek said Cloud Age, but Cloud Age is actually a Pfister game that's coming out, which looks amazing, of course, because I'm a big Alexander Pfister fan as well. But yeah, that looks amazing, of course. All these big games I'm very excited for. But one more thing I wanted to mention about Roll for the Galaxy is that I got a Steam key to try out the new beta for the Steam app / Android and iOS and all these different, So they're coming out with a nice, like, sleek kind of Roll for the Galaxy app. So I downloaded that and I played a solo game on there. And for the most part, I really enjoyed it. It didn't have music yet, so it definitely needs some sort of music. I think they're working on that, but it's still in beta, so I'm still giving it time. As far as, like, I mean, it's very beautiful. It's easy to see and understand. I didn't have to read through any tutorial or how to play or what this button does kind of thing. It all is right there and very easy to understand. But I think I would just simply rather play in Board Game Arena if I'm playing with more than a few people, like more than myself. If I just wanted to play a solo game, yeah, that's really cool. Maybe I should have got it for my phone instead so I can play it like I do Star Realms and stuff like that. But so be on the lookout for Roll for the Galaxy, the Steam app if you're a fan of the game. It's really beautiful. But you know, I'm curious as to how it will play with more than a few people on the Steam app because it's really, really nicely done on Board Game Arena. So I guess we'll just see what happens there. We also played Shrey, Pat, and I played Die Stauffer Dynasty. Now, this game has a special place in my heart because it was the first game I played at the first lobster trap that I went to. So it was very exciting. It was just all around enjoyable. And since then, I've come to love it even more. And each more and more plays, there's something really special about this game. Anytime you try to describe Stauffer Dynasty, it's like a drag, a snooze fest. People don't understand the elegance of this game until they actually play it. Because like, oh yeah, the king's gonna walk around and you're trying to send your guys out to claim different spaces to gain these tiles, which are cool bonuses, or you're gonna like spend your turn getting extra little meatball dudes. And I mean, I can't explain the game at all to make it sound appealing at all. It's mind-blowing how hard it is to describe this game in a juicy, like, ooh, I want to play that kind of game. Like, it's like it sounds like a dry Euro, and probably to many people it is. However, there's something really puzzly and wonderful about this game that is just, it's just so great. I can't explain it another way, because you're trying to score each round where the two different locations are, but you're also trying to like maintain your status in these different locations for your end game scoring. So there's so much to think about, and it's so puzzly, and you only get 5 rounds, 3 turns each round, so 15 turns in the whole game, and you really just need to make it all count. And how the best you can do that is that, well, that's the puzzle. Figure it out. So much fun. Yeah, Stauffer is the best. Stauffer is really, really great. So I'm excited that we got to play that. We also got to play Endeavor, Age of Sails. Shrey had been wanting to play this for a while, so he brought in like one of the small expansion things. I don't know what the expansion is called, but it added these like different like module type things where like in different regions, if you had presence in like India and North America, then you can gain access to these special actions. And so it's just a few more things to think about on your turn. Do you want to sail over here? Or do you want to take the special action? That could be really great. So trying to figure all those like special things out was really difficult, because I was also trying to just remember the rules for Endeavor, because it's been a really long time since I played that. But I always have enjoyed playing Endeavor, so this was, you know, it was always been fun. Exploits. Rainer knows everything. I'm so bad with like names and terminology, and I'm just like da 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 da. I don't know. I know these things that give me cool like actions, and okay. And so actually Pat helped me out in that game, because I'm like, Pat, go there. It'll be great. And then he did. And then he opened up 2 spaces, which boosted my tracks up to get me the extra points I needed to score the bigger points. And then it also got me other things. And I still didn't win. Pat still won. But I did beat Shrey. And that was probably ill-deserved second place status. So that was a lot of fun. But no, that was on TTS. And it was very enjoyable to play that again. I liked it with 3. I usually end up playing that game with 5, so it was cool to see it with a 3-player. It felt very much the same. So I think that's a game that works with like any number of players. We played a 5-player game of Hadara online. And now, the more I play Hadar online, the more I'm like, meh. I would just rather play Seven Wonders always because it's faster, it's simultaneous. So Hadar is supposed to be in Phase A, supposed to be simultaneous, but we have, instead, the way it's implemented on Yukata is like everybody has to take their turn. So it really just drags the game down for me and just like, okay. I love the game. I do love Hadara, but I think I love it in person better. Where some games online are just much better, like Oracle of Delphi, which we haven't played in over a week now. What's up? I gotta play that again soon. But yeah, I think Hadar is like a really great game, but I think maybe with fewer people it would be better online. But every time we're playing 4 or 5 players, and it's just been kind of a drag. So, Win, Lose, or Banana is much better in person as well. I've actually never played that. Is that a 1-card game or like a 3-card game? I think I've heard of it, but I've never actually played it. But I feel like it's a dexterity / speed game, but I really don't know. 3-card game. Yes, okay, I was right. Hey, I should get some props for that because I haven't actually played it. But, you know, I'm willing to play anything once, especially if it's only 3 cards. It's gonna be great. Finally, the last game that I talked about in the blog was one of my all-time favorite late night games called Off Toffel Come Rouse, or Awful Toffel. Pat ended up making a module for it for us to play because we all love it so much, and it's always like a blast. And so our game was so much fun because the first round I bid like 120. Everybody was like 60 and 80 and 90 and 80, whatever. And they were all like very mellow. And they were all like, oh, she bid 120. And then everybody like proceeded to get doubles or whatever. And then the next round, you know, a lot of big numbers were already gone. And everybody's like, 150, 150, 100, 100. And I'm like, and my bid was like 80 because I'm like, all the big numbers are gone. But they weren't thinking like that. And so it worked out. In the first half of the game, it worked out for me where I was getting a whole lot of points and a whole lot of money. But eventually, Pat caught up to me, and then Pat surpassed me, and Pat was on a roll all day, all night with all the games we played. But yeah, it was like so much fun. And then if people get so desperate in this game that they're just bidding like 200, 220, I'm like, you're 220? Who bids 220? And of course, like, I think Shrey or Scott made their bid of like crazy high value. And then, and so Scott had a major comeback, I know, but it was still like, Pat won, I was second, Scott was third. Shrey was like way far behind. So it was like, oh man, games always provide so much laughs. It's wonderful blind sort of bidding and then push your luck to gain your value in discs. This game is just so much fun, and it was just like, this game needs to be played by more people. I don't know why Off Toffel Come Rouse never got picked up in the US, because it is one of like the most fun, like riot-inducing kind of like late night party games that is always delivers. And so yeah, that game is fantastic. So that was all the games that I played this week. I do want to share some of the games that are coming up in next week's blog and that I'm excited for. So, to start off, I have this one here. I don't know if I'm going to get to play this one right away, but Hello Neighbor, the Secret Neighbor party game. It is a social deduction game, which isn't really my favorite kind of game, but I'm willing to give anything a shot. You know, it might play just like Werewolf. I have no idea. I know there's keys involved and other things, but the group here in Nashville that we play with love social deduction games. So I asked Arcane Wonders if they had TS game available for me, so I'm gonna get to play it online with them, and I can take pretty pictures of the actual game for the write-up whenever I get to do that. And so it'll be fun to try it out. It's only says 30 minutes, so it's not like it's gonna be a long investment or a lot of investment in my time. What else? I got a couple games from Capstone. Ride the Rails. I did actually get to play Ride the Rails online, and I set it up and played in real life as well. I set it all up and took pretty pictures. And then we learned Stick'em. So expect reviews for both of these games next week. Stick'em's a nice little card game. Well, it's not exactly nice. It's more of a take that kind of card game. But Ride the Rails actually really reminded me of Mini Rails. I'm sorry, not Mini Rails, Mini Express. So yeah, it wasn't half bad. I mean, I expected much different. I'm not a huge train gamer, so my review Monday. And then I got a huge pack from where is it? There, GDM Games. This was included Troya. Now, I didn't even really know much about Troya. They sent me a whole bunch of these games, which I'm going to show in a second. But the one game I wanted to play from GDM Games was Instacrime. Instacrime is like all the escape type games that you think about and that you're like solving and doing all these things. However, it is revolving photographs. I'm just thrilled to play an escape room just involving photographs because that is like totally my jam. It's Insta, meaning like Instagram kind of thing. And so I am really, really excited to play this. I have no idea what's it. It's a little tiny envelope thing, but my excitement is through the roof for that game. And so I contacted them like, I would love to review this game. It's going to be amazing. But then they sent me all these other things like Troya, and I didn't know much about it. So if you're describe it, it's a 2-player kind of tug of war, battle line kind of game where you're fighting back and forth with these different Greek gods. However, the catch here is that I played it on the live stream on Wednesday, so you can go back and watch us playing if this interests you. Review will come out Monday as well, but this game has a tug of war, but if you get 2 guys to the opposite side, you will score them, and then you get to try and meet a condition to score them, and then those 2 guys go back to the center line. Now each turn you're going to be like drafting a god power, and you have to pay for that with goods in your hand. So you're either going to be doing this or drawing cards because you don't automatically draw cards at the end of your turn. So you're trying to manage all of this, and you're trying to manage the gods and their powers that they give you, and there's a lot of cool things going on. So this one was quite a surprise. I really, really, really enjoyed that. I usually don't like 2-player only games, and especially tug of war type games. So this was a major surprise for me. I would definitely recommend that anytime. I haven't yet played this Giza game. Looks really cute. They also sent like a whole bunch of these Sherlock games, 2 of which I've played already because Indie Board and Cards have been putting out they put out the Sherlock files. There's 3 sets of cards in that box, and 2 of them are right here. My guess is that the next Sherlock Files game will have these 3, but so GDM puts them out individually, whereas Indie Board and Cards takes them and puts them all into a box for a big box game. So I'm excited to play these. They're one time through solve the crime kind of games where you're shuffling up the whole deck of cards, and then everybody will draw 3 cards and decide to either play it for knowledge or discard it. You want to only play the cards that are important to the case, to solve the case. And you're trying to piece together all these different cards to solve each case. And it's so much fun. This is like easily one of the best type of like crime solving games. And you play it in an hour, and you figure out how well you do, and you take a little test at the end to see, like, they're very, very clever. So I'm very much looking forward to playing these. Okay. So I still have more. I have more games to show that I'm excited for. There's, like, so much. I don't even have anywhere to put them. They're all, like, in front of me right here. WizKids sent over a bunch of cool games. This is what I featured on Wednesday. Super Scale Pinball. If you love pinball and you love roll and rights, this is a game for you. I can't stress it enough. It is really, really cool. Lots of different game modes in here, and I think this is really cool. I have a friend making a TTS version of it, so I'm like, add more seats, because any number of people can be playing this game. It's not like you're gonna roll a dice and everybody will do their turn at the same time. So it works more like Quicks than something else. So roll and write pinball, it's very thematic. Bumpers and flippers and all these different things. You get high score bonuses for doing different things. The ball is just rolling around, going crazy. It's a lot of fun. Other games that I got, I haven't played this one yet. Needs 3 players, so you have to, like, draw things in the air. I might be able to play this with my family online, so that's what I'm hoping. I'm gonna look more into that. It looks really cool. I got this really Meeple Towers. This is also WizKids. It looks really cool. So I have no idea what's happening. I don't know if it's dexterity. I don't know what it is, but it looks like you're building up this little world with meeples, and how could I not love that, you know? So that's one to look forward to in a future blog. Probably not this week, maybe next week. I don't know. I'm already looking towards, like, the Monday after this Monday, because that's when I'm going to put out my New to Me blog, so I have to, like, figure all that out, work that out, do all that. The final game that I'm excited to play is this massive, beautiful game called Paradise Lost. I saw it on Instagram, and I'm like, wow, that looks amazingly beautiful. Oh my goodness. I get so drawn in with everything that I'm just like, wow, new games. But they've sent me all these different things. They sent me a play mat. They sent me these cool little minis. I mean, the artwork is fantastic. Everything about this game looks really, really cool. So hopefully we'll get to play that. Look at that. She's, like, awesome. Whew. So all of these games that you see here are gonna, like, be featured on the blog. I'll take beautiful pictures for you. If I think they'll play well, then I might put them on the live stream as well, which will be cool. Yeah. I mean, my hour is basically over, and so I definitely want to try and keep this under an hour. I appreciate everybody for stopping by, and commenting, and, you know, subscribing and following. This has been so much fun. I love talking about all these games that I've been playing and things that I'm excited for coming up. So make sure to follow along for Monday when Rainer joins me and Jeremy, and we play Mandala Stones live from the Tabletopia. So we're definitely I'm gonna make Rainer go through all the rules and everything so you can learn more about that. So that's Monday. I think next Thursday I'm gonna be playing Back to the Future, Back in Time with Stella, Meeple University, on her channel. So you can follow her over there, and we're just gonna play on TTS, and it's gonna be awesome. And so lots coming up, lots to look forward to. New podcast with Jeremy and I starting sometime soon. We've been talking about that, so it's very exciting times. New Twitch channel. Everything is very exciting right now. Even though we're in quarantine still, it's just so much is happening. Still so many wonderful games coming out and things I want to show off, so it's exciting. Follow along. Michael and I are going to try and go live probably once on Sundays every Wednesdays for sure. And then we'll see about whatever happens from there. And I'll just try and, go live whenever I have the chance to talk about what's going on, or maybe play a solo game, or maybe if I get Shrey and Derek to play Orgrill Delphi, maybe I'll just stream it then. Who knows what's going to happen? All these different things can happen. And it's just exciting to see. So thank you everybody for joining in. And I will be back probably this weekend with more stuff. I should do a play along. That's in the works for sure. That's a good idea. I could easily do a play along roll and write game. So if you have suggestions on that, what game to play, I would be all ears. I love a lot of different types, like Karuba we could easily do. I love roll and writes. So if you guys want to play a roll and write with me, let's make it happen, because it'll be fun. Cartographers would be pretty good. Michael's come down to say hi. They want to play roll and writes with me.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. So I'm asking for suggestions. So
lots of good ones.
A game that I like a lot of games. We could play pinball, super skill pinball. I just learned that one.
Yeah, but then they have to choose what they want to do too.
Well, no, the pinball, they just need a sheet. I think it's a print and play. I think pinball is a print and play on the WizKids site, so you can go download a sheet and we could play it.
That'd be cool.
That would be good. It is very good because you just roll 2 dice and you see the numbers, and everybody will have the same options each turn. So.
And they can watch the video.
Yeah, there's a video which I posted too, so you can learn how to play there. But a lot of great options, and I will be back probably Sunday with Michael once we decide on what to play.
Woo!
And you are all wonderful. Bye.